Young Americans are experiencing significantly higher rates of mental health issues, anxiety, depression than previous generations, and they are paying a price. Yet there is a solution. Hi, I'm Rex Rogers, and this is episode number 274 of Discerning What is Best, a podcast applying unchanging biblical principles in a rapidly changing world and a Christian worldview to current issues in everyday life. Speaking as an aging baby boomer, I must say I feel sad and sorry when I hear young people, teens and 20-somethings, so-called Gen Z, express cynical outlooks on the world and seemingly everything around them. Not just sarcasm or simply pessimism, but harsh, angst-ridden, sometimes angry assessments. This includes jobs, if they have one, church, if they ever attend, certainly political leaders, and even their country. They seemingly do not think anything is trustworthy. They remind me of the political philosopher Thomas Hobbes, who in his book Leviathan in 1651 described human life as solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. Interestingly, Hobbes imagined a world without rules, police, or leaders. He called this a state of nature. He believed that without a government to enforce rules, people would naturally compete and fight over basic needs. Yet today's Gen Z don't trust government either, at least not as currently constructed. So many of them are voting for democratic socialist politicians like New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani or Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson, or now the DSA Senate candidate in Michigan Abdul El-Sayed, or maybe the DSA candidate for Wisconsin Governor Francesca Hong. They offer a kinder, gentler government, one with no police, no prisons, open borders, no private property, no capitalism, a brave new world. Remember John Lennon's signature song, Imagine? He imagined no heaven, no hell, no countries, no religion. Imagine no possessions, I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger, a brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. The problem with Lennon's vision and with the DSA's proposals is that along the way they've been tried and none of them work. In the end, the political elite, George Orwell's The Party in his classic 1984, get the goods and the rest of us pay for it. Gen Z is confused about all this. Generation Z, roughly those born between 1997 and 2012, has come of age during a period marked by rapid technological change, political polarization, economic uncertainty, the COVID-19 pandemic, and pervasive social media. These experiences have shaped a generation that often expresses interest in spirituality while simultaneously distancing itself from organized religion. Gen Z is less likely than previous generations to identify with a religious tradition or attend worship services regularly. Meanwhile, Gen Z faces significant emotional and mental health challenges. Researchers report elevated levels of anxiety, depression, loneliness, stress, and suicidal ideation compared with many previous generations. Constant digital connectivity has increased opportunities for social interaction, but often via cyberspace, not in real human contact. And the digital phenomenon has also exposed young people to relentless comparison, information overload, diminished opportunities for rest and reflection, and worst of all, near unlimited, bogus, weird, false, debauched, and evil influences sent every second of every day over the internet into their devices and into their hearts. A life lived with virtual reality, avatars and online personalities is not fulfilling. Multiple studies show a correlation between excess social media use and rates of depression and anxiety, low self-esteem, obesity even, and violence in our teens. Meanwhile, common sense, experience, and numerous studies indicate that active participation in religious communities is associated, on average, with greater social support, higher life satisfaction, lower rates of substance abuse, and increased resilience during times of crisis. Faith traditions provide moral frameworks, a sense of purpose, intergenerational relationships, and communities of care that can help individuals navigate adversity. Prayer, worship, confession, forgiveness, and service to others also foster hope, gratitude, and a sense of belonging. Americans who report leaving their formative religion also report more significant personal hardship than those who are raised and remain religious. 39% of Americans raised evangelical Protestant, but who no longer identify with the religion, say they feel lonely or isolated from the people around them most or all the time. In terms of identity, Gen Z is the least religious generation yet. More than one-third, 34% of Gen Z, are religiously unaffiliated, a significantly larger portion than among millennials, 29%, and Gen X, 25%. Fewer than 1 in 5, or 18%, of baby boomers. Gen Z is far more likely to identify as atheist or agnostic, but individuals from every faith tradition, as well as those with no religious affiliation, can experience anxiety, depression, trauma, or other mental health conditions that require professional care. Consequently, Gen Z's search for meaning reflects both a desire for authenticity and a continuing effort to find sources of hope, identity, and belonging capable of addressing the profound emotional and existential questions confronting their generation. But actually, every generation faces existential questions. Is there a God? Who is God? Is he involved in this world? Does he know or care about my life and my problems? What is the meaning of life? Do I have a future? Is there an afterlife? But given Gen Z's unmooring from family, church, and specifically meaningful Christian faith, this generation seems especially beleaguered by cynicism, which sadly often leads either to nihilism, meaning nothing matters, or hedonism, meaning life is only about the pleasures of the moment. Now, cynicism, nihilism, and hedonism are distinct outlooks, yet each one erode the foundations upon which young people build meaningful and productive lives. Cynicism fosters the belief that people are fundamentally selfish, institutions are corrupt, and noble ideals are merely disguises for personal gain. Chronic cynicism often breeds distrust, isolation, and disengagement. Young adults who believe nothing is worthy of commitment may become reluctant to invest in relationships, careers, communities, or causes greater than themselves. Nihilism goes further by denying that life possesses inherent meaning, objective truth, or lasting purpose. If nothing ultimately matters, then sacrifice, perseverance, and moral responsibility can appear irrational. This outlook can contribute to hopelessness and despair, particularly when individuals face failure, suffering, or disappointment. But remember this, without a sense of transcendent purpose or enduring values, life's inevitable challenges may seem overwhelming rather than opportunities for growth. Now, hedonism, the pursuit of pleasure as life's highest goal, offers immediate gratification but often neglects the virtues that sustain long-term flourishing. Young people who constantly seek the next pleasurable experience may find that the temporary excitement gives way to emptiness, addiction, financial instability, fractured relationships, and certainly diminished purpose. In contrast, lives grounded in meaningful goals, enduring moral principles, healthy relationships, and service to others are generally associated with greater resilience and long-term well-being. What I wish for today's Gen Z is that they would come to understand that they are made by God in His image. He made them for and with a purpose. Consequently, they matter, and their futures matter, notwithstanding the challenges of this world. Now, this is not just vacuous self-esteem. This is eternal providence. Gen Z desperately needs to answer their existential question. What does God want me to do now, in this 250th anniversary year of our nation, in the beginning of the 21st century? By seeking and acknowledging divine sovereignty, they will find their destiny. And the added benefit? Cynicism, nihilism, and hedonism will lose all appeal. Well, we'll see you again soon. This podcast is about discerning what is best. If you find this thought-provoking and helpful, follow us on your favorite podcast platform. And for more Christian commentaries, see my website, REXM as in Martin. It's rexmrogers.com. Or check my YouTube channel at Dr. Rex Rogers. And remember, it is for freedom that Christ has set us free. Stand firm.